Year's, everyone! I'm so excited to be starting another year on this channel. For those who are new here, my name is Crystal, but I like to go by Chrissy. I created Oh Chrissy Cream as a place to enjoy some sweet Animal Crossing gameplay and to share all the fun ideas I had for the game. And, as you can probably tell from the title, I came up with another fun idea for a new island. So a little fun fact about me, Ponyo is my first Studio Ghibli film that I ever watched. I watched it when I was 9 at a library, and I think they played it over the summer because I think around that time, the English dub had just hit the States, and I remember being a really big fan of Noah Cyrus at the time, so I knew a little bit about the movie ahead of time, but I did not expect it to be so as amazing and such a huge part of my childhood that me rewatching again at 25, it just brought so much nostalgic back to me. And I'm just so excited to recreate my own little world in Animal Crossing and have, everybody come visit and just show off, like, my creative process for this. So this time around, I decided to make a mood board, and I had to take some inspiration from a YouTuber who I already watch named Sparksby. I will list her video that I got inspiration for how I put my mood board together, and we can go ahead and go over what I have listed. So, first thing on the list, the name. So, I came up with the name Unasaka because I wanted to capture that Ponyo essence. Now, for those who don't know, Ponyo isn't the name of the city. It actually doesn't have a name, at least a fictional one. The real life world is inspired by Tomonorua. So it's basically like translates to the port waiting for tides. And I kind of like that little saying. And I wanted my name to have like a also little saying too. And if we connect Ponyo to the actual title in itself, which is Ponyo by the Cliff, and I want it to be something like that. So I took that and I try to find some words that would keep that essence of sea and cliff and try to put that together. Now, cliff, the Japanese term for that is gake. So it just didn't sound right if we were to say yunagake. But yuna came from yumi, which is another word for sea, which is the original word for sea. But in this word setup, it's a softer way to say it. So it's instead of Yumisaka, it's Yunasaka. And I think the more that I kept saying it, the more that I just like convinced that it's a good name. So now that we have that established, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the actual aesthetic. So I actually took a lot of screenshots from the movie, and I can't really show much because, I'm not trying to get copyright claims. So we're just gonna have to take a little bit of inspiration of things that I've seen from like Pinterest boards and just my idea of what I took from it. So I'm going to go for a very high leveled island. So I'm thinking about 3 to 4 levels of inclines. Now, I know you can't really pitch much on the 4th level, but maybe the 4th level is more just an aesthetic hill and not so much of a functional hill. But yeah, I'm thinking around there. As for villagers and stuff, now I had made a list on another mood board with different villagers. Some of them came up again, but I made 3 lists all together. And the first one captured the essence of the characters. So a lot of like Ponyo's parents and Sasuke's parents, as for the old ladies that you see at the senior center. And I kind of wanted the characters that still capture those vibes. And I think when I first restarted, when I made my second mood board, I was just focused on like the aesthetics and the colors and what say Ponyo, right? But I just wanted to go with my gut and go with the characters that I felt fit the overall like fictional characters that I'm representing, and just what I feel like a special like connection or story between them. So the villagers that I got end up being Octavian, of course, as well as Maria, because they were the first two that I thought of because they're octopus and it makes sense because they're in the ocean. So I know it for a fact I wanted to include them. So me taking them out, all together, just, this didn't sit right in my spirit. So I brought them back in, and I also wanted to add other characters that I felt like would probably work, like Ponyo's mom. So she is very big, okay? But she can also downsize herself a little bit when she's on land. And because she's really pretty, I just felt like the prettiest villager that fit that big theme was Gale. And I think that it also works because her eyes sits on top of her head and she's pink. And I thought that it would be cool that if we took Octavian and Gale, if they were to have a kid, wouldn't they look similar to Puddles? Now, Puddles is going to be our stand-in for Ponyo, because, the name both starts with a P, and it kind of looked like when Ponyo gets to that form where she kind of looks like a chicken or a frog, when she kind of looks like that, I kind of thought that Ponyo looks like she's in the process of converting into something else. And because Puddles is a frog, I thought we could kind of have like a frog prince action, but kind of flip it, and pretend like they're humans. But there is a frog named Prince, but he actually scares me, so I decided against it. So the closest thing was, Tad, or I think that's his name, Tad. Yeah. So I think because it works because he's also have a yellow shirt that represents Sasuke's shirt, and and he's green, which could interpret the green pale bucket that there's a lot of green elements. And yeah, and I thought, we gotta have his mom, so I have Lily, and I think, it doesn't really fit Lisa's vibe, but just for the sake of things, I just decided to, go with it. And for the other 3 sheeps that I included, they would represent our main senior citizens that you see. Now, I can't name them at the top of my head. Their names never stuck with me, but I definitely know that I wanted to capture them. So that's why I have Cashmere, have Stella, and I have Willow. And I think they just fit the most. I just think they just fit them the most. So that's for my villagers. As for some other elements, like items, I wanted a lot of the main elements to be Japanese aesthetics. So I'm gonna have a lot of Zen fences and I want to say it's Azuyama gazebos, and a lot of the what is those things called? Kuropi hallways. Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of those and some stalls to make the port, and a lot of yachts. And it also has that city core, so there's going to be a lot of utility poles and just a lot of trees, nature aesthetics, because I won't really say it's I don't really know if it's like more nature or more city or a blend of both, but I'm gonna say it's more of a blend of both. But for the most part, that's what I have. Now, once we get to the actual building process, there's a couple things that I want to look for, and that main thing is being the map. So I kept trying to figure out what would be the best section to have the secret beach, because the secret beach would be where he comes down the hill and he has this little like flat beach that kind of like their private beach is Sasuke's little backyard, and I wanted to have that, but I didn't know which side of the map I should go for, because I wanted to kind of stay true to the actual like geological graphics in the movie, but it's kind of hard to tell. But from my point of view, when you first see the hill, when it first comes on screen, it seems like it's on the west side of the shore. That's what it seems like. So I'm thinking of having it on the north side of the map, but having the secret beach on the west, so that way the house is facing is facing forward, but then when you go down, it's onto the left side of it, if that makes sense. So and then for rivers and stuff, I know that there is a port section that has the like a bridge, and there's a giant ship that blocks off. I kind of want to have a river section that comes through there, and that could be a bridgeway. So somewhere, it doesn't really matter where it is, but I would like it for it to be on, I think, the south side and facing. Well, I mean, I guess I could create my own river now I'm thinking about it. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Is so much to consider right now in the planning process because I'm more of a visual learner, so I need to actually see the island that I'm working on before I can get a general feel of the layout. But I think for my first time doing a proper mood board, I think this is good for now. But yeah, I'm so excited to be starting a new island. I will probably start on it next week. It would probably be a little bit behind before we could get up to the update section, but I definitely want to get started on the island sometime soon. And we could still experience all the updates that's happening all at once as we're still making the island. And yeah, if everybody is so excited to be along my journey, I'm going to do better at showing off sections and keeping up to date with what am I doing, and limiting certain sections, so that way it's not too like a time skip, like you missed a lot of things. Because I definitely want to take you on with this process because I really appreciate how many people commented and showed up for my last video. It really shocked me. I made it to 1K, and I just feel like I should celebrate, but I definitely want to make sure that I am showing up for everyone who is showing up for me. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video, and I hope you all have a sweet day.